just like a camera, I want you to remember that there's a macro and a micro lens on any situation, on your life, on your plan. And what macro and micro is like, micro is when you're zooming in and you're focusing on a small piece. Macro is sort of when you're panning out and you're looking at a bigger piece of the pie, bigger scenario. I mean, the forest versus the tree. The forest being the macro, the micro being the tree. So I want you to approach this trying to look at both at the same time. And I'll give you an example. Let's say you're going through your plan and you have to go through the weekend and you're frustrated because you're not going to be on plan and you're worried about when Monday comes, how it's going to be. I want you to zoom out and look at this in the macro lens. Think about what, in the grand scheme, what's 2 days out of 365? Is it really going to make that much of a difference? And then, on the flip side, you want to get to this big goal. You have the macro lens on this, 50 pounds lost, let's say. You focus on trying to lose one at a time, the micro piece, one at a time. Take that a step further. It's 1 day at a time. You do whatever you can today. And then you do it again tomorrow, and then the day after, and so on and so forth. And at some point, this micro actions become these macro actions. And we talk about this in fitness when we talk about planning and periodization, that sort of. We look at these both like 1 days and weeks and month cycles, year cycles. You need to look at your plan in both. You need to be able to zoom in and focus on one particular part of it on one particular day. And you need to zoom out and remember, think about perspective. Think about context here. It's part of something bigger. And whenever you feel like you're frustrated or lost in this plan, you need to either zoom in or zoom out. Whichever is the opposite of what you're doing right now. If you're looking at this goal and feeling overwhelmed, you're too broad. Zoom in onto one little piece of it. What's something you can do? And if you feel like you're worried about this one day, this one event, you have to go to a wedding, maybe. You're too micro-focused. You're focusing too much on one thing. And you're losing the perspective on the rest of the year that you have so much more control over. So be it. That 1 day, not so big of a deal. Because it's a small piece of a larger picture. So remember to use your camera to pan out or zoom in, zoom out or pan in. Because you need to be able to have that dynamic view of your situation, that being able to look at both lenses, because looking at both of those simultaneously help you to maintain perspective, maintain positivity, maintain success, really, because you're not losing sight of what your goal is. And you're not losing sight of how you actually get to that goal. Because the goal is a macro point and the actions are the micro points. And sometimes micro events don't have so much of an impact in the whole macro calendar. But you'll lose sight of that if you're not able to pan in and pan out. So remember, always look at your situation in both the micro lens and the macro lens.